Hey everybody, this is Lisa, the Quilt Wizard. Happy Wildcat Wednesday. Today I want to show you some tips and tricks about nesting patterns with Quilt Path. I have a t-shirt quilt and I'm using a pattern called Diagonal Plaid. It's a very tightly nested pattern, so we need to make sure that our spacing between our rows and then between our zones remains consistent. I'm going to show you how I do that. The first thing I've done here for demonstration purposes is give myself some registration lines using marking tool. And I simply use marking tool to mark the pattern here all the way across. So here I'm ready to place my zone 5, and I am using 4-point placement here. I'm going to go ahead and mark my A. I will use my needle down to make sure I'm getting in the exact spot that I need to place the A point. So now I'm going to mark A, and I've placed my pattern. Looks like I'm pretty close here. So I am going to go ahead and place B, however. Now I've moved over to my B placement point, and again I'm going to use my needle to get exactly where I need to place that B point. Now, this is important. Before I place B, I want to check this box called lock width. And that means that no matter where I place that B point, this width here is going to remain the same. The only thing that B point is controlling right now is your vertical placement up and down. In other words, if my B was up here, let's say, for example, then I would come here on the screen and I would place it, and you'll see how it moved it up, but it did not affect the width of my pattern. Likewise, I could go way out here, place that B, and the width of my pattern remains the same. This is a small point, but one more thing I do is I use a fresh piece of tape every single time and punch that hole. I don't use a pin, I don't use a marker, I punch that hole with a single stitch and a new piece of tape. I finished that zone, ready to mark the next one and continue on, same process. I'm using version 6 of the software, but with version 5, the process is exactly the same. So try that with those tightly nested patterns and let me know how it goes. As always, happy quilting!